Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and I'm standing next to perhaps one of the most unfortunately named SUVs of the modern era. This is the 2022 Chevy Blazer. And not to quote Shakespeare or anything, but the name of this vehicle really gave it a lot of bad press, making me wonder how good this crossover-based SUV could really be, because many enthusiasts are opining for a Blazer to combat against the new Ford Bronco, and this ain't it. This is a very competent crossover-based 2-row, 5-passenger, comfortable, powerful SUV, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it. Alright gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do want to give a huge shout out to my friends over at Belcher Chevrolet here in Tyler, Texas for loaning me this vehicle to test today. If you are in the market for a new or pre-owned Chevrolet in the East Texas area, go hit up my boy Franklin and let him know GT Garage Talk sent you. As for this particular model, this is a 2022. For 2023, they will get a slightly updated fascia and updated interior with a little bit larger screens, but for 2022 you get this. This is a 3LT with leather, meaning that in the LT RS Premier hierarchy, this is the nicest of the lowest trim. We'll talk more about that when we get inside. What that means is you don't get the RS's aggressive front face or the Premier's blingy front face. You get a nice toned down black on black look with a chrome Chevy crossbar right here. You do get an LED running light above the separated headlight housing right here. This was actually made popular on a vehicle that is very familiar to my family because my wife drives a 2014 Jeep Cherokee, which made this look popular and faced a lot of the naming criticisms that this vehicle faced when it came out as well. Interesting to note. Above the headlight, you get an incandescent turn signal that is really low here on the front, which makes me wonder, all the jacked up trucks that are so popular here in East Texas, are they even going to be able to see this incandescent turn signal? Not quite sure. Moving under the hood here, you get Chevy's 3.8 liter transversely mounted V6. This engine has been in a lot of things for many years and is a very competent engine. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic, and on this 3LT front wheel drive, well, it's powering the front wheels, but you can get an all-wheel drive model as well. Making 308 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque and getting a combined 22 highway and city combined fuel economy number. This is a really good powertrain and really efficient for this modern era. It's a really good package all the way around, and we'll get more into the interior packaging, but this is actually a really good sized SUV for a family of 3 or 4. Moving inside the 22 Chevy Blazer, I do want to emphasize this is a 22-year model because newer versions for 23 and up will get a slightly updated interior in here as well. But again, if you're familiar with the Chevy Camaro, you're going to feel very at home here in the Blazer. From the air vents that are lifted straight from the Camaro that adjust your dual zone climate in here just by turning the ring on the outside, a really nice touch, to the row of buttons here for your climate controls, even your USB-A, USB-C, and the 8-inch color touchscreen. Everything in here feels lifted straight out of a Camaro, and that's not really a bad thing here on this Blazer. You do get an electronic button to open the glove box here on the side, which is, I guess, a safety precaution that you can set who can open it and when. And then I really like the fact that the engine start-stop button is way up here and not hidden behind anything else. Steering wheel is a typical Chevy truck steering wheel, so if you're familiar with a Silverado or any new Chevy truck, you're going to feel very familiar here with this steering wheel in the Blazer. You can control your adaptive cruise and your radio controls, everything from here. No flappy paddles on this one, but that's okay. 9-speed automatic with a proper mechanical gear selector, drive selector right here. And then you get several different drive modes: snow, ice, sport, and tow haul. And then you can turn off your parking sensors and your lane keeping right here from the buttons. All told, very convenient cockpit up front. And then this skylight, this very massive panoramic roof that goes all the way back to the heads of the back seat passengers, does a very good job. And then the opening portion is rather large as well and goes back pretty far, allowing for a really open air experience, even if this isn't a removable top K5 Blazer like some would hope for. Moving to the rear seat of the Chevy Blazer, it is a very comfortable seat. It is not too firm. It is actually Goldilocks just right back here. It is a stadium style seat, so I can see over myself sitting behind myself. And I do have this driver's seat sat at my 5'10" driving position. You can see I've got plenty of room, and there's a nice deep cutout for if I did have to come further back. You do get a couple of air vents on the back of the center console, USB-A, USB-C, and a household style 3-prong outlet back here. So a little bit of comfort and convenience as well. Fold down center armrest with 2 cup holders. And just like I mentioned back there when we opened the hatch, it is a 60-40 split that not only folds flat, but does recline to a very comfortable position to allow me to take full advantage of this skylight up above me and really take in all of the sun. But I'm definitely in the East Texas heat, gonna want those vents pointed back on me. Moving to the side profile of the 2022 Chevy Blazer, you can see it's actually a really good sized 2-row SUV. And you can see you get turn signals up here in the mirrors. The Blazer name is spelled up halfway up the door, which is a little bit of an odd placement for me. And on this black on black version, you really don't get to see Chevy's floating roof design, but I really think that's become a little too played out by this point in time. Anyway, just know that if you opt for a color other than black, you will get to see a floating roof design right here. This being a 3LT, you get these black painted 20-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Primacy Tour tires that are 235/55 20s. So a pretty good sized wheel and tire combo here. And with those Primacy Tours, those are actually the same tires that we sampled on the Hyundai Ioniq 5 full EV. So you know they are helping attribute to that 22 combined MPG on the window sticker. I'm 5'10", and you can see just about how tall this vehicle is. There is plenty of room inside, and especially back here in the back. You get a little more Malibu and Traverse, and a little less Camaro than you do up front, but you can see it is still very clearly a Chevrolet product of the modern era. You do get a little bow tie Easter egg here on the side of the taillights, which is rather nice as well. I like these dual exhaust back here on the back for that 3.8 liter V6 that do a good job of giving off a sporty appearance. And then this 3LT does have a power rear hatch that is programmable, so you can set it to the full opening height, which is this right here, which is right at 6 feet because I'm 5'10" again, and it is just above my head, but you can program it to any height you want. When you get it open, my goodness, all of the space back here, I have to lean in to even touch the backs of the seats, which can be folded down 60-40 from either side of the rear cabin back here, which gives you a ton of cargo space moving all the way into the SUV. And then lifting up the false load floor here, you do get a little extra storage back behind the spare tire and to the side of the spare tire. This is an 18-inch spare, so you won't want to go too far when you install this spare if you ever need it. Just something to note. But I am truly impressed with just how much space is back here and how easy Chevy makes it to fold those rear seats flat. The rear hatch does close from a hatch mounted button here, so just another reason why you might want to use that adjustable height feature. All right, gearheads, getting in this $43,000 SUV. There's really a lot to like here. I already talked about the panoramic roof, the color touchscreen, all the Camaro-inspired bits in this. But one thing I didn't talk about is this rear view mirror that does double duty as a actual rear view mirror, or if you flip the switch, it turns into a screen projecting from the camera back there in the back, which completely wipes away any headrests or heads back behind me and any potential presence I have loaded up in the back as well. It gives me a very clear field of view back behind me, but if I don't like that, I can always go old school with my mirror there as well. But I'm gonna flip it on for this video's purpose. In this 22 model, this 3LT with leather, it's actually very nicely equipped. Leather wrapped steering wheel, leather wrapped seats that are heated, but in this one, not ventilated. I already mentioned the panoramic roof, the USB-A and USB-C chargers in here. No wireless charging in this one, and I find that okay because really I'm in the habit of plugging in anyway. And with USB-C, you're actually going to charge faster than any wireless charger in a vehicle could or would. And then driving dynamics of this vehicle, I am impressed. Again, going back to the fact that they named it the Blazer, really gave everybody that nostalgia for a really off-road capable live axle, front and rear, lockers, all that good stuff for off-roading, when this is a really good on-road vehicle. Even with those 20-inch tires and those Michelin Primacy Tours, you get a nice comfortable ride, very good fuel economy, and just an overall very comfortable place to spend some time. The seat comfort in these is very good. Just like I mentioned in the back seat, not too hard, not too soft. It really is the Goldilocks of seats. You really sit in them just right. No real contours or bolsters to hold you in place, so you kind of lose some of that Camaro effect with these seats. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, tilt telescoping, and does a good job of helping you find the right position for it. You do have a power driver's seat here, but no seat memory, which again, it's a 3LT, it's not the RS, and it is not the Premier trims. So this is really the nicest everyman trim that you can get, and it's a really good one. The blinker sound actually sounds even more upscale than some Mercedes products that I've driven. So if little details like that matter to you, just know that the blinker sound on this does not sound cheap by any means. All the controls are really easy to get to. Your engine start-stop button is right here. All your controls for your infotainment are really easy to get to. I like that Chevy gives you redundancy with volume, seek, and a home button right here. Does really good. And then you've got your home row of buttons down here, so you can always get to the function that you want the best. This 8-inch screen is a little on the small side for modern audiences, but I will give it a pass because again, 2023 models will get a larger screen, but it does enough and is plenty good enough for exactly what you would need in a modern vehicle. It's also the home of your rear view camera. You do get a full bird's eye 360 on this 3LT, and the resolution, while not super crisp, is also not as grainy as some products that I've tested, like a 2022 Toyota Sienna. The materials in here are also very nice. I really like the padded dash right here. You do get a soft touch plastic even back behind it, so even though you're probably never going to be reaching back here and touching that, that is actually softer touch plastic, and you do get the softer padding up here. Chevy put some interesting materials in here without overdoing the gloss black. You get kind of a metallic, sparkly black plastic here with some chromed plastic trim around the sides for a little bit of extra flourish. And then here on the door panels, you do get a chrome plastic door handle, and silver painted inserts here on the card, which is very nice. I like it better than gloss black plastic because you're not going to see fingerprints and dust on it. The door pulls are actually really good on this, and they are actually wrapped in probably fake leather, but your seating material as well, so they're actually comfortable to grip and hold onto. And then all your window controls are very easy to access right here. Window lock controls are by your door handle. Everything feels like it is right where you'd want it to be. The armrests are very comfortable for daily driving, for cruising down the highway. Very comfortable car all told. And then when you get out to the open road, that 308 horsepower V6 will pull you rather quickly. I'm actually surprised at the amount of power and pep of this larger two-row SUV, because it'll actually scoot down the road, and this 9-speed automatic isn't always hunting for gears, which negates the need for paddle shifters. Anyway, moving down here to the center console, you do get 2 forward and aft cup holders, so there will possibly be some bickering over whose cup is who, but it does have a pass-through for you to put your phone in it if you don't want to put your phone up here, which it does actually hold an iPhone 12 Pro Max up there. Center console storage is very nice. You get a USB-A and USB-C here in the padded center console as well. All told, a lot of really good interior storage options, even a little third-tier cubby here on the door card that allows me to get access to whatever I need. If I want to stick my wallet, or maybe packing some heat, whatever the case may be, you can stick that here on the door card. And then a lower bin as well, right next to the power button for that rear hatch that is programmable. You program it and do it all from right down there. On this back road here in East Texas, the pavement is a little less than ideal in some places, but there are no rattles, no creaks, no bumps, no judders. It's actually a very comfortable ride, even when the road surface is less than composed, including some bumps we're going to come up on right here. You can hardly feel them even with those 20-inch wheels. So I credit those Michelin Primacy Tours and just all the work that Chevy has put in to their vehicle platforms as of late. This platform is shared most closely with the GMC Acadia, of which there is actually a 2-person third row. In that one, you just get extra storage in this Chevy Blazer. Some other competitors of this vehicle is the soon-to-be deceased Ford Flex, maybe the shorter 2-row Jeep Grand Cherokee, and perhaps, which this one might be a stretch because of its third row as well, but the Mazda CX-9. We tested a Mazda CX-9 Premium and really liked it, but the back seat on that one was a little bit small, and the mid-row was only a 2-seater. So this really is a better option for daily livability, especially for our family, than that Mazda CX-9 we tested. I really like it. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it's well put together. The ride is superb, even when the road is not. All around, it's a very good car. Let's go. Well, gearheads, that about does it for my time here with this 2022 Chevy Blazer. Again, huge thanks to our friends at Pelche Chevrolet for loaning this to us for the afternoon. My final thoughts on it are, well, if it had been named anything else, I don't think it would have received anywhere near the amount of press, both good or bad, that it has received. Yes, using that Blazer nameplate on something that is very un-Blazer definitely caused a lot of stir and conversation around this, but I think Chevy could have accomplished the same thing with a little less negative backlash by naming it something from their lineup, like maybe the Nomad. Can you imagine? The Chevy Nomad. That would do a whole lot better and doesn't cut off your off-road implications and your Ford Bronco fighting abilities with such a heritage nameplate. Otherwise, that 3.8 liter V6, the 9-speed automatic, the power and fuel economy, and the space in this vehicle really makes a lot of sense for a family like mine with a 4-year-old son. Gives us plenty of room for any type of vacation back in the back, enough room for Tucker and one other person to not feel cramped in the back seat, and plenty of fuel economy and fuel mileage just to hit the road about anywhere here in East Texas or in the continental US for that matter. If you liked what you saw here, be sure and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, where you can see what we're testing before it is here on YouTube. If you want to see more of what we're driving and testing, be sure and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time we post a new video. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. But until next time, Gearheads, bye. This is the 2020, how many 20s? I do want to give a huge, just cut all of that.